What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Oranos. His name is VNC BR2. Don't know exactly what we're going to be, how we're going to be saying that name today. We might have to think about a Vunk. Maybe he's going to be Vunk. But his opponent today, in the red color, playing as Oranos. He is none other than the legendary Sensuy. Sensuy the Legend is actually his most official name. He's since, you can see that he's got the underscores here after his name. These are just the blanks out for where he's decided to be a little bit modest about his legacy, and he's just said no longer Sensuy the Legend, just Sensuy __. And those who know. Yeah, but for those who don't know, let me edify you just a little bit. Sensuy is a player who, way back when, maybe 5, maybe 10 years ago, he used to be one of the big competition. Used to be one of the big competitions for Magic and Mista and all these players back then. He actually competed in many of the tournaments, did really well. Super strong Oranos player, has since possibly had less of an interest in becoming like a super solid top player anymore and just plays the game a little bit more for fun. But with a tournament coming up, I wonder if Sensuy is going to be getting his level, raising that up back to where it once used to be. And maybe he's going to be a bit of a menace in this tournament. We'll have to wait and see. His opponent today is a kind of newcomer to the scene. Haven't seen him really play before, so I'll be interested to see how he's going to go. It is an Oranos mirror, so skill really does matter a lot in the mirror. It's really tough to get a strategic edge in a mirror matchup, especially if your opponent kind of knows exactly what he needs to do to find victories here. And the way that I see him, the way that I see a mirror matchup, because I just played some games of chess on stream, I'm going to use a chess reference. I see a mirror matchup like a chess game, except both players get to move at the same time. Both players. So imagine white and black both get to move their pawns into the center at the same time. What does this mean? Well, it means if you both move at the same time, that defending your weaknesses is something you can do very easily, whereas exploiting your opponent's weaknesses are something that's much, much harder. So basically waiting for your opponent to misstep while solidifying your position is going to be the best kind of option to play for. But we'll see how these guys are going to go. We already see Sensuy going for something slightly different here. He goes for a 4-minute hunting dogs build order here, but gets something closer to 408. As he went on to the berries here, it seems he didn't quite have that food income that he might have liked. But a 408 advance time, he's probably going to go for mass Terma here instead of any of those Momillos, whereas VNC going to be looking like he's going to go for his 430 advance time. No real surprises here for the 430 advance time on a map like Tundra when you've got Aurochs in your base. Generally speaking, those fast advance times that might come for you from, like, say, an Oranos player or a Kronos player, or even a Zeus player might go for a fast advance against Oranos, tend to not work on many of the Tundra kind of spawns because you have so much food in the starting base. Because you have so much food in the starting base, it can be really, really tough to really find any damage early. But we do see that Sensuy going to be moving forward with his oracles, immediate valor on those oracles, as he's going to be pushing in, trying to get a little bit of damage done onto these villages. He will be able to push off the Aurochs here, but only for a really small amount of time here. If I was VNC, I would even consider just chucking these villages over onto wood for the time being, maybe finishing off this caribou up on the top side, bringing my oracles back, heroizing my oracles with valor, and then trying to grab this Auroch maybe close to this position or something like that, as we see military barracks, counter barracks coming down here for VNC, as Sensuy's got himself a military barracks and a counter barracks. Now, this is an interesting decision here from Sensuy, and it tends to be that if someone decides, it goes for a 4-minute hunting dogs build, decides to go for military barracks, counter barracks, your production gets a little bit, gets put into a little bit of a difficult position, basically. And you basically trade maybe a citizen training time or something like that for something else. So we see VNC committing now to get himself watchtowers really, really early. That's a solid 300 resource investment here in watchtowers. And it doesn't really get him a whole lot. He's really not under a whole lot of pressure. It's just the mana that's being attacked. Will this watchtowers come through and defend this, actually be able to defend this mana or not is the big question. I imagine that beautiful micro there from Sensuy, pulling the Terma back and forth here. The Promethean offspring going to be getting targeted down as well. Mana goes down. This watchtower has not really managed to do all too much, but Sensuy is going to take that advantage, retreat back home, and we'll see what he's going to do with that. Now, there are a couple of options to do when your opponent upgrades watchtower. So watchtowers is 300 resources, right? That's basically half a town center. So what you can do is say, all right, you got watchtowers. I'm just going to cut military, grab a town center here, and you might be able to get away with that given that your opponent has wasted 300 resources on a technology that doesn't really do anything aggressive, and you can probably defend by being behind about 300 resources each, 400 resources, kind of easily enough is kind of a way to think about it. Alternatively, you just keep on trying to look for a military advantage and see what's going to happen. VNC is currently 50 population. The Sensuy is at 67 population, 10 citizens apiece here. As Sensuy is going to be retreating back home. And we'll see how it all is going to shape up. Vinci's actually done a really nice job of defending here. And we'll see if he can continue to just ride it out and wait till he's got somewhat of a position that he can actually fight against Sensuy's army. Because this is always the crazy difficult thing to manage in this matchup is effectively when the armies clash head to head. I know for myself personally, I just have no idea who is going to win in an Oranos mirror in that big clash of a fight. 62 population for VNC, 75 for Sensuy. Sensuy sniping some units over here. Going to be able to take out this watchtower as well. We see a shockwave getting shot down onto these units as VNC wants to get in. Big shockwave there in retaliation from Sensuy as the unit's going to be retreating away here. And it looks like in the main base of VNC, these units here is getting a little bit of damage here. Nice control from Sensuy, attacking multiple different things at once. Looks like one of those Mamilo gets down to 1 HP, but does manage to survive for the time being, whereas a couple of units here getting thrown away by VNC as now Sensuy is actually VNC has actually caught up to Sensuy now in terms of population. Resource distribution also very, very close here as well, as it seems like any sort of advantage that Sensuy may have had in the early game maybe has been kind of caught up with to some degree here for VNC, as now VNC needs to consider if he wants to move out onto secondary hunt or not. As he looks like he's going for some raids, losing some units as he's running through these villages that were on this outer hunt here, just jumping over onto wood at this point, as Sensuy being incredibly defensive in his main base. He isn't hunting anywhere on the map, not leaving this game up to chance at all, just on berry bushes in his main base. There's hunt over here, there's hunt over here, there's hunt over here. Raids still happening in the main base over here as we do see this citizen on this location starting to get attacked as VNC's trying to get a little bit of damage done, but Sensuy not paying attention here. At this point, it's only a handful of units. There's too much going on right now for Sensuy. It's full focus on the micro as this citizen going to be retreating away. Will it get picked off here? Sensuy still not paying attention. There he goes. He manages to garrison that citizen there. This citizen going to be garrisoned as well. This one over here, a little bit confused about where it's going, as this might be running back to its death. Meanwhile, still pushing in onto this gold mine. He has managed to push VNC off of the gold for the time being, trying to take this fight as some Prometheans do pop out. There are plenty of hero units here for Sensuy as the army of VNC does get pushed back, and it looks like when the dust has settled, it seems like Sensuy is up 50 population here, ladies and gentlemen. After all of that chaos has settled, no citizen fell there. Sensuy's up 2 citizen here, ladies and gentlemen, after all is said and done, and he's got a commanding position in this game as the Promethean trying to push out here. Generally speaking, in the Oranos mirror, you don't want to build Promethean until after the valid heroes have been dealt with. So it can be a kind of a a mini game, a mini win condition, not really a win condition, but like a mini goal of an Oranos player in the Oranos mirror or against a Chronos player to try and snipe enemy heroes. And then once he's done that, he can start making his Prometheans to find an advantage. But as it is now, VNC has been forced to build his Prometheans out, and Sensuy is going to be able to overrun this very, very easily with the mass amount of heroes he's managed to make with his Valor. As he can just sit underneath the main base of VNC here. The town center only doing 9 damage, 18 damage a second. Tower over the back doing 16 damage a second with the double arrows getting shot out. But that's just nothing considering the DPS that Sensuy is able to output here. And now towers will start getting targeted down. Term are going to start chasing after Citizen all over the place here. Idle Citizen over here. We do see that VNC has managed to come out onto this hunt on that corner there, but that's really not going to be all too much here as we see a hero. Terma gets sniped down there. Nice play from Sensuy as well. VNC did get the micro on it, but not fast enough there. As Sensuy going to be moving back into the main base, looking for more villagers to kill, more gold to get pushed off. VNC has snuck this gold mine over here, trying to work his way back into this game. Sensuy's got so many resources in the bank here. He could drop a town center if he so choose. He could drop a ton of farms here if he so chose. He could definitely consider moving away from the Terma at this point, just go purely into Murmillo if he so chose here. But now we see the units moving around here. Another counter barracks getting thrown up. Another temple getting thrown up. We've even got VNC right now on the farms. He's also snuck this gold mine on this position as well, as VNC is trying to get himself a little bit more gold in this game to continue along. 1 citizen going down, 2 citizens going down. The civilian differential now is 5, which if you multiply that out by 3, or it's actually 6 now, if you multiply that out by 3, you're looking at 18 villager differential in terms of the vanilla villages, which is an insurmountable amount of economy at this stage of the game. Generally speaking, like obviously in some situations you could make a comeback, but in this one where the military advantage is for Sensuy, the economic advantage is for Sensuy, and I imagine even the tech to some degree is in Sensuy's favor here. He hasn't actually gotten pickaxe or hand axe, but he's currently able to start just targeting down this town center as the Promethean going to come through. They get 10 hack damage, 10 hack damage and 5 crush damage, meaning 15 damage per second total. Minus any armor that's there, and they'll be able to take a town center down very, very fast. Sensuy manages to decisively claim game number 1 here, ladies and gentlemen, against VNC, showing why he is regarded as a Gosu, as it were, one of the legends of old. Has still got it here, ladies and gentlemen. He's a very scary player. I'm interested to see how he's going to go in this tournament. VNC still got another chance here to stay alive in this tournament. Got another game coming. It's a best of 3, so we'll see how he's going to go. But Sensuy claims that first game. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.